Welcome, everyone. We are happy for you all to join us today. This is the Aldo Leopold Audubon Drawing with Birds. Today, we have a very special bird that we're going to be drawing. It's going to be a wood duck, and you all helped select that bird today. And we are recording this program. It will be made available as well afterwards. So I am going to share a little bit about a wood duck before we get started. Then we'll pass it over to Karen Sig, our resident artist, who is going to walk us through our drawing with birds today. So a wood duck. I am going to just give a little bit of an overview of what exactly is a wood duck and why. So as I share my screen here, this is the beauty we're going to be drawing today. This is a wood duck. And does anyone have an idea? You can use the chat or you can unmute yourself for a second. Why would it be called a wood duck? Any ideas? I can't see the chat.
They live near the woods?
They do. They live near the woods. That's true. Anything else you might think of? Yes?
Because their feathers are sort of colored like wood in some parts.
Some parts is wood, so maybe it's good for camouflage, right? Mila, you have an idea?
Maybe they kind of sound, maybe they say like wood, kind of like how chickadees, their name is.
Do they say wood, 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 wood? Maybe. Brody? Brody, you are muted. So you want to unmute and explain? I'm sorry.
Well, they sort of look like a duck and, oh yeah, they live by the woods.
Yeah, so you are correct. Definitely about the name is coming from the fact that they live by the woods, but they also nest in the woods. So let me show you a little bit more about this. We're going to share. So you can see, yes, the coloration does have some good camouflage if you're going to be in the forest. These birds use water, but they also really like water by woods because they rely on it for nesting. So these birds nest like, sort of like woodpeckers do. These birds nest in a wood, and I have a 3-minute clip where we're gonna just watch how these little birds hatch in a cavity in a hole in a tree 30 feet off the ground, so really high up. That's where they go. And so that's where the name comes from, is this is a duck that actually perches in trees, and they use trees in order for nesting. So here's a little bit of a video. I'll just let this just go for a bit.
All the chicks are born alert and with a full coat of down. They can't fly yet, but they can't stay cramped up here either. After only one day, Mom calls for them to boldly go where they've never gone before. Even at this young age, they understand it's time to jump into a brave new world. It's a 30-foot leap of faith. The first brave soul prepares for liftoff. one down. And its brothers and sisters wait in the wings. Typically, all the chicks will jump just minutes apart. But every now and then, there's a failure to launch. Houston, we have a problem. The Eagle has landed.
So as you can see, those were the little babies. You saw that the mother looks quite different than the father. The mother has coloration that's more camouflage, that's better to hide in those wood and those cavities, where the male is a lot more colorful, as you can see. This is called dimorphism. So it's two colors of the same species. So the two individuals within the species look very different in coloration, but they are the same species. Take notice of this red eye as well. This really cool looking slicked hairstyle. It's not really hair at all. They're all feathers. Really different color green cap, and then white and black here underneath the eye. Then it comes down to this white strip in the neck, and then a nice polka dotted almost brown and polka dotted white chest. And then to the different colorations of iridescence on the wings and a really beautiful brown and white pattern here. And then a darkened tail. So just take a look at those details. Those are going to help us. Now, Miss Karen is going to be able to walk us through the drawing of this bird, and you can see how much detail is in this one today. So I really hope that you enjoy our drawing the birds today with we're going to be drawing a wood duck. So Karen, I'm going to silence my sound now and turn my video off, and I'll let you take it over.
Okay. Well, so or for those of you who've done this before, I do a drawing just to kind of let you know what we're working toward. And so with this, I'm going to try to adjust my view here because I just only see Susan instead of me speaking. Let's see here. Okay. Well, I might have to just do the gallery view. Okay. So there, as you saw in that photo, there's a lot going on, and we're not going to be able to have enough time to really do all those details. There's so much on that beautiful bird, but this is what we're going to do, a kind of a version of this. And so I'm just going to kind of move along, and you can rewatch this later if you miss some, but I am going to get started just so that we can try and get as much done on our bird today as possible. All right, so we are going to do the circle kind of things that we've done before. And so I'm going to use my pencil a little darker, but for your end, try to do it a little lighter. These are just guiding lines initially. So again, I'm making it dark enough so that you can see it on the camera, but again, on your paper, maybe not quite so dark. All right. So I'm going to, and I'm also making it a little smaller on my paper because at least for me, it might be a little more quicker to go through. So just drawing a circle. here on, let me just kind of get, and again, if you are trying to do a circle, kind of short little strokes to kind of make that, or if you have something handy that you want to trace, you could, but basically get a circle that's a basis for the body. Yeah, you don't have to make it super big. Okay. Then from there, we want to draw a circle that's going to be for the head. And so this kind of look to see where I have like proportion, kind of go up here, little to the right, and I'm going to make another little circle here that will be the head. Or again, the basis for the head. So look at how those are a little proportion to each other. I noticed on my drawing, the neck is a little shorter compared to that photo, but again, birds like these too, they stretch up and out and down a little. So it's gonna be close enough, okay? So now these are the guiding lines. We're gonna keep doing some more. Going to make a crisscross through that smaller circle for on the head. We'll be using that when we make the eyes and the beak. And then with this, my paper's shifting. I'm going to do some guiding things for the kind of connecting the body. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go like this. Just kind of flow that down. And I'm going to do another one. Now this is more, we're going to draw the chest there. At that point, I'm going to kind of stop with what sort of the head, the body. We're going to next do a little bit more now detail on the head. We're going to go to the eye, and in this upper, I'll make it a little closer once I get there. I'm going to make a circle like that. I hope you can see that okay. If you can't, somebody will have to let me kind of know, because it's a little hard for me to tell with the screen here. But after you make that circle, we're going to make a small circle up in the corner that we're going to leave white. So don't, and then a really black dot in the middle. So let's see here. We want to make sure that you can leave some space in there to color that red color that we're going, Susan pointed out, the really bright red eyes. And that little initial circle up in the corner that I want to keep white, that's for the highlight or reflection on the eye. And then we put the darker second in the middle as the pupil. Right. Now, with that, you can kind of add just some little lines, like a real light little circle lines around it. It's you know, just a little, make the eye look like there's some feathers maybe around. Again, let me know if you guys can see that okay. Is that, I don't know, thumbs up, or is that looking okay? Or no news is good news. How's about that?
Yep, we see it fine. I think it looks great, Karen.
All right, thanks. All right, now we're going to draw some lines for the beak. And I started just a little bit above this line that is our dividing line, and bring it down. And again, these are kind of guiding marks, but you can see it started above that crisscross line, and then it came down to where we sort of had that line for the body or the chest. All right. Then we'll make a little bit of line here for the beak. We could add just a little bit of the nose there. We'll come back to the beak a little bit more, but these are some items, your lines you can add now. And then we're going to start making that cool, funky kind of dew on the head. I'm going to start a little bit on the beak, and I come up and bring it down and over. Notice I didn't come all the way to the body. I left some space, and I came up and kind of almost squared that off at the top a little, and then came down because it's got that very distinct, you saw, funny head, and kind of a, well, Susan called it like a hairdo, but it's all feathers. And then to kind of get that, the angle of all that, I'm going to come about right in the middle of that, where the crisscross here, and I kind of come down and let's see. So I started in here because this is going to be, I'm just going to make this line right now. I'm going to come around and sort of make this a little like that. At this point, we've got some, it's a little confusing because we have that initial circle for the base of the head. We may erase that in a little bit, but I just want to keep that for a reference yet. Okay. Now, some of the other markings that are in there are the, let's see here, we've got, oops, actually, here's another, oops, I think I got some lines mixed up in here, but all right. Oop. All right, see, I make mistakes too. So I like to, I got this little confusing here for you. So I'm gonna back up a little, I'm sorry. And with the eye, we have to get this line here. Oops, there, I made a mistake. So I got confused with all the little white lines here. So I'm gonna start all over there, and I'm gonna get this here. This is that white line that comes out. So we're gonna leave that white, and I probably confused you a little there, but the main thing is what I want to get is this sort of white stripe area.
Karen,
That's going to be white.
I can always share the picture of the bird again, just really quick, if that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
or here's like, that might help you understand, see where I've kind of got that white, and it's going to be green up above.
Yeah,
So
that
we
would
need
be-
to leave space for the green, and then the white kind of, I don't want to say stripe or whatever you want to call it. Oops, does that help, Susan, you think?
Yeah, I think that really helps just to show that visualization.
Right, what we're working toward. Okay. So then we're also going to work on what is going to be the black and the white area. And with this, I'm going to start in the neck, and I'm going to come across, and it doesn't go all the way to the end of the neck, but it kind of comes across. And let's just start with that. We're going to make that little white area stripe ring around its neck area. So I just made that line first. Going to curl it around, and then it comes up, and then then it comes up. And it's almost going to touch what's going to be white on this one. And this is a little confusing here. I might even now erase those crisscross lines, because it just actually might help understand where you need to make the line, or I'm sorry, this weird shape that's coming up. So it's like here. Does that maybe help? And again, if I show the picture of what we're working toward, see how that works under its like chin, if you want to call it that, kind of comes up around to its eye. So it's sort of chin, front of its neck is white, and then there's almost looks like a white ring around its neck. I'm going to stop there because I think once we start adding some color, it'll all, make more sense. I'm going to work more toward the body so we can just get that all this outline, and then we're excuse me, then we're going to start adding color. So with now, I'm going to give the more shape to the body itself. I'm going to come out like this and make kind of like, again, a little bit more of sort of the butt area, or, like the more length of the whole body. And it sort of squares off there. It's not real pointy because, again, this is not the tail or anything right now. It's just more of the body. We'll put a reference point down here for a leg. Just an L down at the bottom. That's to show where we're going to put the legs here in a minute. All right. And now we'll start adding the tail feathers. And I'm going to just make some little loops here. So I started at the top here and I just kind of made little U's. All right. Now we're going to start adding where some of the wings are. This one wing, or the one wing, it comes out up a little higher here and down. So I started up here at the top of the body and it went up, and it's a little above the body. And then it comes in, and then you see it, it's almost about, sort of halfway in between there of the circle that you had. All right. Then from that line, I'm also going to make another line. So this one, I started up here, I come up and it gets a little skinnier right in there, but then it's basically like the shoulder of the wing. And again, you can see how much distance, I saved some distance in between that initial circle that we created. This is kind of a guideline of how close and how far it should be to make that shoulder of the wing. Okay. Now, in some ways, we've got a lot of the basic part of the bird. We're going to just keep adding more details of all those different wings and feathers that you saw with the different colors. So we're going to have to make a lot of different lines. And after these lines, then we're going to be start to color things in that will help make it more look like what we're working toward. On that top part of the feather, I'm just going to make some little lines here to we're going to be coloring blue in a little bit. So just short little ones, there's probably about 6 or so in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I got 7. There's this area here, there's a little bit of what's going to be one space in here we're going to leave white, but if you got that skinnier little area, that's okay. If not, we'll just figure that out and leave a little space white as we get the colors added. All right. Now, again, these lines, the next ones I'm going to make, it's all I can do is just say, this is where some of the color feathers are going. So I'm just going to add this little short one here, right in here. Okay. And then I'm going to add, so then I'm going to start here and I'm going to go to here. I don't know if you can see that one. And then from that corner, I'm going to go back up. So we got like 3 lines in there that I just made. This one here, and then I went down to this corner here and up. All right. I do have some more. These are the cool, I'm making some more little curved ones in here because this is where there's short little rings down. These are going to be some of those really neat white feathers. So I put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 short little things. They're not too long there, but little curves that are going to be some of those other unique feathers that the bird has. And again, we're working on that male who's very colorful compared to the brown female, more camouflaged. All right, so let's get some maybe more fun stuff here now. I'm taking a darker green, but if you got some kind of a green, we're going to start working on the head. And if you don't have a darker green, maybe you press harder in some areas and then lighter to just make it look a little bit lighter green. But I'm going to start right above the beak, and I'm going to start kind of make that fairly dark. At the top here, I'm going to show you what we're working towards. See that where it's dark right above the beak, and just and it's going to be darker along the back side of it. So I'm going to start doing that, and you can kind of follow along here. And if you are working like, well, with a pen or a marker, I mean, you can make it, you know, look a little like feathers, you know, little short strokes on the edge. It doesn't have to be now a hard line because it's a bird with feathers. In my case, I'm going to take a little lighter green to color in there as well. Now, if we keep working with the green, we're going to also add some green under that white streak. And kind of in the corners there. But don't go too far up. It's just a little, you're just making that line a little bit darker. So see, notice we got a lot of colors to fit in there, so don't go too thick on that part. Next, we're going to get a red and work on the eye. So now remember, there should be hopefully that still little circle that is white. Just take your red and kind of go around the black pupil, but leave that white there, that little reflecting thing. You can see. Or again, sometimes it might be just easier for you to look at this one version. All right. Another place we're going to use some red. I didn't really add a line to it, but we're going to, well, actually, I'm going to do the orange first. If you've got an orange, we're going to just put a little bit of orange right here above the beak, or at the top of the beak. It's such a little line, I didn't have you make a special one there, but there's just this little bit of orange there. Along that, where the beak and the head meet. And then after that, I'm going to take the red and color some under here on the bottom. I'm going to just go ahead with some black here, and then I'll and leave just a little white line, a little space. And then I'm just gonna let you guys, once I did that, you can kind of catch up. All right. Now, we're going to add a little bit more of the black to get more of the head done. Around that eye, I do want you to take, well, let's see, a little, I'm making a real light circle. And once I don't want to get this black right next to the eye, kind of let's say another ring around the eye, think of it that way. And I'm going to fill this in, and then you can see what I'm kind of doing there. And now I'm going to start just filling it in, and then I'll let you, I'll just get a little bit going there, and then you can kind of see what I'm doing with that. I don't know if you can see again, but here's another, I'm glad I have this. Look at, there's a white ring around the eye. I don't want that black to get right up next to the red. And I appreciate you guys trying this, that you wanted to do this. I think this is a really cool bird. It's just that we got a lot going on, and it might be a little more challenging for you as well. That I'm just filling this in a little bit more black. And maybe at this point I'll leave some of this, we can come back to it. So I'm just going to get a little bit of a line here too. Okay. It doesn't come down that far. It's another, so like that. Now I want to, after we got some of that black, I am going to be using some pink and some purple. Well, we're like, boy, this is where behind the eye, it has a little purple here. And then it goes into some pink. Let's see here. And then it even goes into a little bit yellow. I'm just kind of adding a variety of colors in here. And then you will, you can take a quicker, here. Again, I think this one is probably better for you to see how I added, sort of started with some purple, dark purple, then it went a little bit of pink, and then it even had, oops, sorry, where my screen here. Let's get this there. Yeah, just there's a variety of colors behind that eye. And then you can see where there's some yellow and green. And we're just going to kind of fill that in a little bit more on all that head with those white sort of stripes and the various colors. We got red, orange, pink, yellow, green. Well, I think all we're missing is a blue or so. But anyway, I'm gonna just keep filling this in a little more with those colors. And making things a little more dark here. Just okay. I think for now, we'll just sort of stop with the head because we still have more things to go. And later, if we have time, we'll go back to make things look more like feathers and add a little bit more color. But let's just keep moving along so that we get as much of the bird done as we can. What I want to start next is with some blue. I have two blues that I'm going to be using. One's just a regular, more blue, and then one's a standard blue, and one's more of a lighter blue. But whatever you have, what I'd like you to do is just sort of, we're going to start coloring that feather, and I'm going to sort of just outline it a little. And for each one of those lines that I made, I'm just going to take my, make those lines a little bit darker. And I'm not going to fill it in completely. I'm just kind of making it thicker and along the line, and then make it a little thinner after that. So if that, you know, kind of see, let's see, I'll just keep doing some of this. There. See how I started along one of those lines and I make it real dark along it, and then just kind of fade it out a little bit before I don't get to that next line. I just want to keep some of it a little white, or we might fill it in with some light blue here in a minute. All right. Now, we also have some blue above this area here. So I'm making this a little thicker and filling in here with some blue. Yeah, there are some lines when I was looking and preparing for this, I too look online to find different instructions. And I say there are a lot out there. Some are really detailed, some are so-so, and I try to find a combination that's going to work good for the amount of time we have. So if you ever do want to get into this even more, I will say you don't always have to attend these. I enjoy you guys coming, but there are a lot of tutorials online as well. But I enjoy watching you guys and what you're doing. So thank you for participating. So, all right, here now I'm going to make some more blue. And I'm making some lines like they're going to be like feathers in there. So I'm still using my blue, and now I'm just using it to draw even some of the lines. I'm not using just my regular pencil, going with the blue that I've got in my hand. All right. So now these two, I'm going to make maybe some little U's at the end to kind of, again, make those look like they were feathers. You know, kind of how I make a little, yeah, I don't know. I just call them U's at the end of a line to make it look more of a feather than just straight hard line. And at this point, I'm going to fill in with my light blue a little. And it's a way, if you want to just lightly touch with the blue you have, you can do it that way. In this case, if you have the different colors, it's kind of nice to actually add those in because it's just going to look that little bit different. So just filling in some more of those blue feathers. Okay. So after this blue, we're going to go back and get our greens, and we're going to work on the tail some. All right. And the tail, there's a lot of really dark green or black. So I'm just, again, for the interest of time, I'm just going to kind of start filling these in. And I want to go along those lines and make them a little darker again, like I did with the blue feathers. See, I separate them and then I just go a little lighter in between. And in this case, I am going to get a little bit more of the black. We also have black that is along underneath connecting the feathers and right in here. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more of the, where it just, these colors just go from one to the next. And I'm also going to fill in more of this other black here on this top edge. So there is another line there that I'm going to make and keep a white space over here. So watch, once I kind of get this going, you'll see. You notice I left a little white bar right there. And I'm just kind of going a little lighter up here. And I realized one line I didn't include. All right. Well, I'm just going to stop there for now because I'll come back to that to work on that chest. But we'll keep working on this back end and the tail. All right. We need to get some more of our purple, pinks, and oranges out. So there are some sections right over here where there's just, again, different feathers. I'm just putting some little purple there. And I got a little maybe pink. It's just a few little feathers that are kind of poking through. And then again, some yellow. Oh, I'm sorry. Yellow, maybe, yeah. Actually, better, probably a little bit more of an orange. Okay. And then after that, we're going to make these feathers here, make those lines a little darker. These ones that were coming down. And then I'm going to make this more into that sort of feather or whatever. Okay. Now this here, just this kind of, there's green and black in here for the end of the tail and kind of the let's say the butt area, mostly the tail. So I'm just trying to fill this in, make it look like there's black and green going in here. And for this sake, I'm just kind of filling in. Really, we're sort of finishing up the tail. All right. Now to move, let's see, along. I'm going to do the legs last because I think we really want to get maybe more of the body going here. With the chest, actually, at this point, I would like to, on mine at least, I'm going to lighten up this line here that was part of our original circle. At least for me, that's going to be a little bit helpful. I just erased it a little because now it's kind of confusing me and it's going to get in the way with the next stuff that we want to do for the chest. But we still have this as a good marking line. What I want to have you do next is to go around that line and here. This will be a little harder. I just think about like this chest here where it comes down, it follows, again, you leave a white line, but it comes down to the sort of the, I don't know, right before the belly, it's going to end. And we're just So kind of make that line down, oops, here. And then we're going to be, this is where we're going to do all that brown. I said, this one's a more challenging one for me to even teach you because I'm just trying to, all right. I think it might be easier if we start adding some color, and then you might be able to see what, where we're going to end and begin on certain things. I'm going to start adding that, at least the brown color. If you saw, remember in that photo that Susan had, I'm just putting a light brown in here. There were all kinds of little feathers. They were all, oh, they were so pretty. They just different little short lines. So right now I'm just putting some color down, but if you know, if you wanted to, okay, I'm just going to see what happens if I take a darker brown and just make little, oh, that might work. So now I'm just taking a darker brown right over it and adding just some little lines to just try and get a little bit of that look that was of all those very look like small white, black, light brown feathers. Or you could take your, a pencil, a darker afterwards, but at least get some light brown there. Then after that, I'm going to take kind of a reddish brown. Maybe you could just, depends on what colors you've got available, but maybe a little bit of a darker brown. And then maybe afterwards you can add some red on top of it, would be an idea if you don't have a reddish brown that I have. But I'm going to just start filling in here, and around the chest, I'm going to make some circles. You see those little circles there? Just make a few, you don't need too many of them. And then once you get a few, then I'm going to just start filling in around them. We want to keep those white. And so just sort of fill in all around those circles you just made. And I'm going to make this go all the way to that one other line. I mean, so this is all that brownish and a reddish brown area, a little thicker, darker there. Okay. I'll show the other one that I had just as a kind of comparison. So if you get some of this down, this is where maybe if you get the color and all that, you can always fill it in more later. Again, if you want to, we'll keep working on it. Adding more feathers, make the colors a little darker and all that. Let's see, here's something else. I'm going to add some other darker brown with the body here. If I've got a darker brown, I'm just making some other here. And I noticed there's some more black I need to put in places. So I'm going to grab my black here. There's some more under this here, under the tail and the bottom of the body. And this black also comes around and it has sort of an area right here along. I can make even this a little skinnier, but there's some black there as well. So, and if I have now my black, I'm also going to make just a little bit of shadow on the bottom. It's kind of more, let's say white, or gray, but it's also a way to start adding some depth shadow kind of thing to the bird. So I added the black along here, along that white stripe. I added black at the butt area down there. And then I just started making some short little lines along the stomach or area to add some shadowing to it. And I added just even a little bit of shadow up here on its neck. So those are some areas you can start adding some using your black or pencil and putting a little more depth to the bird. And actually, we're coming along okay here. I think we're going to be okay on time here. I think for the sake of, again, moving along, I'm going to start working on the legs. And oh my gosh, that video was so awesome where you could see the bird's feet. That was great. I'm going to take a yellow and I am going to go on either side of this black line. Oop, no, wait, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. I got to draw the leg first. Okay, that's the L. And this goes down. We're going to make the leg and follow that. And this is like 1 foot. Oops, I should say, I'm sorry. That is one leg with some of the 2 toes in a sense down here. And we're going to fill that in. And then there's another line. So I'll let you just do that first. This part, the feet might look a little more funky because of our time, but I'm going to add another kind of behind here, and that's another leg. That initial line down, we're going to basically kind of be getting rid of that here in a minute. Another thing though that the leg they have is, I don't know what it's called, Susan, you probably know, but a little line on the back side of the foot right there. Let's see, maybe yeah, I think this one might be a better one to see it. Okay.
Yeah, wood ducks actually have claws, Karen, because they have to climb these trees or hold these trees. So they have a little bit more of a nail, which is really unique for wood ducks compared to other ducks, a little bit more.
Right. So
gripping.
Yeah, this angle, that's, good. Like you see what we're looking at is it's an odd angle, but yeah, you saw that video. That's the nice thing about seeing the real bird versus the drawing here. Now I'm just adding a little, I don't know, some other color on the back side. Again, we're kind of getting down to the end of time here. So I'm just sort of zooming along a little. I also, for any drawing, it's nice to put something, area like so that it doesn't look like it's just floating in space. I'm just adding something, but if you wanted to keep working on this, oh my gosh, you could add, all kinds of the wetlands behind it, and the trees. That would be all really cool if you, again, want to keep working on these drawings. I have to say, we usually always concentrate on the bird. That's sort of the point. But boy, when I draw, I love putting all the plants or the other habitat things in around and with that bird. So that's something, again, you can enjoy doing if you like to keep going with the drawing. But I have, we just got like 5 minutes. So I think we should kind of wrap up. Again, this was my most challenging one to try and teach for our, 45 minutes we've got. But it was a lot of fun, at least for me, and all these different colors and so many different feathers. Like, oh, there's a lot going on with this beautiful, beautiful bird. So if you care to show them, that would be great. Otherwise, I think we could kind of wrap up and, Susan, if you have some other kind of things you like to, chat about at the end. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, people. Oh my gosh. Yes, those are some really beautiful, beautiful photos. Oops. So, oh yeah, Mila, you hold her? Oh, yours up again? Is it Mila? Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So neat.
Wow, Della, really nice job. That's impressive. Boy, you picked a really great bird, everyone. Thank you so much. And Karen, I'm so glad we challenged you. Look at how well our artists have done.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And even, even if you think, oh, that doesn't look quite right, I am so happy you even tried. And that's all the thing about drawing is you just keep doing it more and more, and
Good job,
you know,
Brody.
have fun. Oh yeah, Brody's. You hopefully have fun, and you just keep learning more, and your hands and eyes coordination get better over time. And it's just, that's part of it. It better be fun, because otherwise, why are you bothering? And you guys are so creative with your other, materials you use. I'm just, again, trying to guide it, but you guys just, you take it wherever you want it to go. It's so fun to see you trying and just doing what, if it's fun for you. I applaud you for participating. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much, Karen. Thank you so much. This program was kind of getting us thinking about, well, winter's going to come to an end, and ducks are usually one of the first species of birds that are coming back. Right when that water opens, you're going to see some ducks. And wood ducks are one to keep an eye out. They don't like to flock with a lot of the other flocks, so they're sometimes hard to see, but they surprised us last year by coming to our bird feeders. Just one day, they were eating some of the seed that was on the ground, and that was a real treat. So you can see some of these birds in our own backyard woods. So keep a lookout for these backyard birds. And if you're lucky enough to ever see the little chicks jump from the tree, you are very, very lucky. That is a special moment to see. Good thing we have lots of good nature photographers to keep capture those wonderful moments. Our next drawing with birds will be in 2 months. And we are it's going to be April, the first week in April. I think it's another e-learning day for the Stevens Point Area School District. So again, 4 o'clock, it's going to be the goldfinch, again, a bird you chose. So the goldfinch is going to be our final one for the school year. And then we're going to have some Junior Audubon outdoor nature programs. We'll have 3 this spring, starting in April, the end of April, and then 2 in May. One of those will be bird banding. And we really hope that you can join us at Schmeekley Reserve for those Junior Audubon programs that will be outside in the spring. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day.
I'll just say this one thing about the goldfinch, though. I plan on having it on something. So there's going to be part of a plant with the drawing, because the goldfinch is not as elaborate as the wood duck. So I'm hoping to have part of a plant, when you see a goldfinch out in your backyard. All right.
Thanks, Karen.
Yep.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.